So low carb and keto. On a lot of my videos, I say things like calorie counting and watching your calories, and I get all these comments, you need to look at the latest research into low carb, a calorie is not a calorie. And this kind of makes me laugh because there's something you need to understand. I'm 47 years old. I was peeing on keto sticks before a lot of you were even born. I have like 28 years of experience with keto and low carb. This is nothing new. It has come and gone and come and gone and come and gone. For all of you millennials who might not know the history, in the 70s, there was a book by Dr. Robert Atkins called The Diet Revolution. If you don't know about the Atkins diet, what it would basically be is you go into a ketogenic diet for about 2 weeks called the induction phase, and you stay under 20 grams of carbs each day, and then after that period you slowly introduce carbs, and you stop introducing carbs when you start to gain weight. It became mainstream, and then it had a resurgence in the 90s. That's when I got involved in low carb and keto. I pretty much stayed ketogenic because I would have that initial weight loss in the very beginning, and of course that would encourage me, and then I wouldn't have any weight loss after that if I added more carbs in, so I had to kind of stay super low carb trying to get more weight loss, and I never really got any weight loss. So I have the advantage of having done keto and low carb in my 20s, in my 30s, and in my 40s, and all had varying degrees of failure. Some experiences had similar problems, and then some experiences were different according to how old I was. So first, in my 20s, what was going on with me? Well, I have 2 kids. Here's a picture of my kids. Aren't they cute? Except for this picture is really old because the youngest is 19 and the oldest is 23. With the first one, I was so worried that she would be healthy. I ate very healthy. I ate my vegetables, and I just had a little bit of meat and some carbs and no sweet anything. I gained a lot of weight with my first pregnancy. I was over 200 pounds, but the weight came off fairly easily with her because I stayed eating the same way I did before. With breastfeeding, weight came off. Second baby was made out of Twinkies. I remember like downing entire boxes of Twinkies. It was horrible. I was well over 220 pounds before I gave birth to her, and I remember afterwards the scale being like 186, 180, 175, and I really had to fight it down. And I got down to probably mid 150s. Right now I'm probably like 138, so probably about 20 pounds more than I am now. I started doing low carb, and some of the problems I had with low carb in every decade that didn't change: keto breath, body odor, just a feeling of dirty, like I just felt dirty, like a greasy, dirty feeling. Constipation, definitely, that was a problem. In my 20s, I would experience that initial weight loss, which is very encouraging. You know, the scale just drops and you go, yeah. But I never had significant weight loss after that. But something else I never experienced ever when I did keto or very low carb is the loss of appetite. They always say you're gonna lose your appetite and it's gonna be so much easier to eat less. Never happened. I was always ravenously hungry. I remember going to Albertsons, buying a block of cream cheese, getting into my car, ripping it open like some kind of cream cheese eating animal, sucking it down straight. It was disgusting, but I was like crazy hungry. I never lost my appetite ever, and I am a keto ninja. I know where every carb is. What? There's a carb in eggs? Yes, there's a carb in eggs. I could get the keto sticks to be dark purple. I was not doing it wrong, but I was just always still crazy hungry. One problem I had in my 20s that I didn't have in my 30s and 40s, I had heart palpitations, and that is not uncommon. You're deficient in potassium, so that's why I had heart palpitations, which was really scary. And in hindsight, I'm really surprised that I shrugged it off. Oh, I just need more potassium, no big deal. It's like heart palpitations, that's kind of scary. I had heart palpitations, never really lost any significant weight, but I liked that it limited me, and I couldn't eat bread because bread was a huge downfall. I used to just like binge on bread. So it helped eliminate some of my bingey foods, and that was good. But I would never lose anything beyond that initial weight loss. Then I would try other diets, and then every time some other diet failed, I took that as evidence, oh, low carb must be right because that other one didn't work, so I'd go back to low carb. So in my 30s, when I would do low carb, that was kind of the only time I lost significant weight, but it was because I extremely calorie restricted. I was on a 1,200 calorie diet. I would eat 1 egg, and one little tiny low carb chocolate bar because I knew that was 200 calories and I would do it 6 times a day, and that is all I ate. And that's the only time I lost significant weight on keto, is when I calorie restricted. Now, the other time in my life I also lost a significant amount of weight on 1200 calories a day was when I was in college. And in college, I had the most high carb diet you could imagine. For breakfast, I would eat a bowl of watered down oatmeal. For lunch, I ate a 3 Musketeers bar out of the vending machine. And then for dinner, I would have a salad with a tiny little amount of dressing on it and like half a package of top ramen. High carb. And I lost more weight in college on the high carb diet than I did in my 30s on the keto, egg, and little chocolate bar 6 times a day diet. And I was lifting really heavy in my 30s and my 20s. Both times I was lifting really heavy. In college, when I lost the most amount of weight, I was not lifting heavy. I'm also not a fan of women lifting really heavy. That's another video. I have videos about that too. In my 30s, I'm lifting heavy, and 1200 calories, dropped significant amounts of weight, but again, constipated, keto, bad breath, dirty, yucky feeling, never lost my appetite. Didn't happen. That's not sustainable, so obviously it had eventually ended. So then again, I would try other diets, going, okay, low carb doesn't work, let me try something else. Always swinging from the extremes. I finally stopped swinging from the extremes, which has been why I've finally got a handle on things. Then I started trying things like the raw food diet, and then I was fruitarian for a little while. That was a complete disaster. Then when those didn't work, I thought, okay, it's back to low carb, and I was listening to all like the Jimmy Moore podcasts. Keto, no problem. I can do keto. I know how to do that. So I tried it again in my 40s, and this time I had all the side effects that I had every other time. Never lost my appetite. Didn't lose any weight beyond the initial weight loss, which is mainly water weight, the bad breath, the body odor, the greasy feeling, the constipation. But in my 40s, I also got anxiety, and that was new. And that's when I finally said, okay, that's it. Uncle, this is not working. I'm not losing weight, so why am I putting myself through the hell that is trying to watch every carb, and this is ridiculous. So I finally just gave up on it. What I've actually found does work for me, I just don't eat grains. I used to eat a ton of oatmeal. I don't eat any oatmeal anymore. I will eat some white rice because I love sushi rolls, and so there is some white rice. But like today I had some sweet potato, I had some butternut squash, spaghetti squash. I love carrots, starchier vegetables, lower protein. I eat mainly fish, shrimp, and kind of low-ish fat. I haven't really written down my macros, but I'm probably no higher than 30% fat. I'm not eating bread, I'm not eating oatmeal, I'm not eating pasta, I'm not eating sugar. So all the keto people are very fond of saying a calorie is not a calorie, they're different. And so they want to differentiate between fat and carbs. Okay, I understand that, but then they don't want to differentiate between different carbs, that almost like all carbs are arsenic. First they're gonna make you fat and then kill you. And that's ridiculous. And also you could just look at other countries. I grew up in Germany and Holland when I was younger because my dad was in the Air Force. It's not about the carbs because they were eating plenty of bread in Holland and Germany. It wasn't about the carbs. It doesn't make sense to me. And also at my age, everyone I know has been exposed to the low carb diet because they got it at the same age I did, like in the 20s. But I don't know one person walking around that I can see in life that does low carb. Low carb people in real life, they're like unicorns. You've never actually seen one. And I think that's telling, the fact that everyone in my generation has been exposed to low carb, has more than likely tried low carb. I've seen my friends try it and fail, and it didn't catch on and it didn't work. I'm not too worried that you're gonna do keto long term because not really anybody does. I tried it in my 20s, tried it in my 30s, tried it in my 40s, it never worked. This is a fad that is come and gone, come and gone, come and gone. It's nothing new. So I hope this video helped you. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if it did, and don't forget to subscribe because all kinds of videos are coming. So I will talk to you later.